Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where and when you are joining us. I am your host and guide, Katie Milton Jordan, and you are here for workshop 2 of our What Works AI action class. We are here for our What Works AI action class. This is based on the book What Works, a comprehensive framework to change the way we approach goal setting by Tara McMullen. And this is our weekly reminder to support the author. This AI action class teaches AI fluency, not the book. We use Tara McMullen's framework to practice building and using AI workflows. And if you find these ideas valuable, please read the original work. The way that our AI action classes flow always follow the same agenda. We spend some time at the beginning of class doing a brief introduction. We set aside some time to learn AI concepts as well as concepts in the book. And then we set aside about 20 to 25 minutes to actually run the AI workflows so that we can create a deliverable that's customized to us for our life and business application. Then we like to come back into communities so that we can share feedback, questions, and insights about what we may have learned or discovered through this process. So our AI action class book that we are reviewing in this series actually has 5 workshops. So this is the 5-step rebuild for goal setting that we will be following in our 5 workshop series. So last week we went through values. We were able to name 3 core values that should drive how we spend our time and replace borrowed cultural defaults. And in today's workshop, vision, we're actually going to build a multi-dimensional picture of how you want to feel and what you want to experience. And so at the top of our slide here, we have a quote from Tara McMullen saying, "This is not actually a book about goal setting. It's a systemic deconstruction of the stories that keep us hustling, striving, and always looking for more, and a guide for reconstructing an approach to growth once we have shed them." So here is the way that our workshops are going to fall over this series. Today, we are working on our vision map. So the goal of today's workshop is to build a multi-dimensional picture of the life you want across health, finances, career, relationships, hobbies, mind and spirit, and advocacy. And the key topics that we're going to be working with are temporal bandwidth, the 7 life dimensions, how you want to feel versus what you want to achieve, identities worth leaning into, and capacity check across dimensions. So when we finish today's workshop, we are going to have a vision map. This is going to be a 7-dimension visualization of your 1, 5, and 10-year vision with desired feelings, experiences, and material conditions per dimension. And we have our weekly reminder of what is an AI workflow versus a long prompt. So an AI workflow is a long prompt, but a long prompt is not necessarily an AI workflow, because when we run our AI workflows, when we construct them, we bake in some very specific ingredients into our AI workflows so that they help us stay focused and they help us get the outcome that we are working towards achieving. So for example, you'll see one of these instructions at the top of the workflow. It says, run this workflow step by step. What that does is it tells the AI not to give us 100 questions in the first pass, right? We construct this so that AI will dynamically change its responses based on the context that we give it in each one of the steps, and that helps us create an even more valuable deliverable. The other thing that we do is we put some guardrails into this workflow so that AI doesn't take us off down a rabbit hole in pursuit of creating a deliverable that's not necessarily important to us. So all of these elements are baked into our AI workflows that are also long prompts. So we're going to get into our AI workflow for today. I'm going to instruct everybody to navigate to bit.ly/AI formula. That is all one word and all caps. And that will take you to our public drive where you are going to find all of our AI action class folders. And I want you to navigate to the one that says What Works and look for workshop 2. We're going to spend the next 20 to 25 minutes running our AI workflow for workshop 2. And this is your reminder to work on your own work, whether that's your personal life, whether that's your professional life, whether that is a passion project. Make sure that you are using real work and bringing a real problem, pain point, or challenge to today's workflow. The reason that we do this is because if we only work with synthetic or theoretical data, we've got no skin in the game, right? When we have an emotional stake in the outcome of the deliverable, we're going to be more invested in using the AI to help us move beyond a bottleneck. So this is your time to learn and explore not only AI concepts and your AI fluency journey, but also to learn and explore concepts in the book that may resonate for you. Remember that if you can't think of answers, you can ask the AI to make suggestions based on what it knows about you, or even make suggestions based on industry best practices. If you get stuck, just speak to the AI as though you were giving instructions to an in-person assistant. And of course, I am here to help get you unstuck if you run into a challenge. So let's go into our public folder here. And we are looking for our What Works AI action class. We're going to scroll down to the What Works AI action class, and we're going to pull up workshop 2. This is our workshop 2, and I always encourage people to read the introductory paragraph so that we have a sense of what we are going to be creating today with AI, and then read the steps so that we can begin to prepare our head and our heart for the questions that the AI is likely going to give us in the next steps. So we are instructing AI to act as a vision mapping coach and expert in the principles from What Works. We are going to, the specialty in the second step is McMullen's 5-step build, craft your vision, building a multidimensional picture of the life you want across health, finances, career, relationships, hobbies, mind and spirit, and advocacy. The AI is going to guide us through a structured process to articulate how we want to feel and what we want to experience in 1, 5, and 10 years, not as a fixed destination, but as a living direction. So at each step, it will explain where we are in the process, ask for context to complete the step, then move on to the next step. If I don't answer all your questions, fill in what you think is appropriate and ask if I want to make any edits. The goal is to have a finished vision map by the time the last step is done. So in step 1, we are going to anchor in our values compass. And I believe that that's what we created last week. So hopefully my AI stored that as a memory. In step 2, we're going to survey all 7 dimensions. In step 3, we're going to write the 1-year, 5-year, and 10-year felt vision. It will be interesting to learn what is the difference between a felt vision and a generic vision. And in step 4, we're going to test this against capacity and the network self. And capacity is a very hot word at the moment, especially as it relates to AI, because AI is consistently showing that it has got more capacity than humans do. So step 5, we will name the identities worth leaning into. And in step 6, we will create the final deliverable, which is our vision map. Friendly reminder that this prompt that is in here is a Google document, not a PDF. So please do your best to refrain from editing anything in this document. Because if you accidentally make edits, that will get preserved and passed on to the next person, and the prompt won't work as intended. So what you just saw me do was copy the entire prompt on here, and I'm going to go ahead and open my preferred LLM. Today, I'm going to work with ChatGPT because I have hit my usage limit for Claude. So I will be using ChatGPT. I think that the thinking model will probably be sufficient for this. I'm going to paste the prompt in here, and I'm going to go ahead and hit run. Okay, vision strategist. We're going to craft our vision. Most vision settings fails because it becomes dressed up achievement checklist, SMART goals, bucket list. By this date, I will have X. But a real vision is less about what you'll acquire or accomplish and more about how you want to live, feel, move, relate, contribute, and experience your days. So the 2 core ideas will matter as we work. Temporal bandwidth. Instead of living trapped in short-term urgency, we widen the now to include where you've come from and where you're moving. Vision gives your future self a seat at the table. And the network self, you are not one single productivity machine. You are many selves: body self, creative self, spouse self, leader self, spiritual self, advocate self, friend self, money self. And a real vision has to honor the whole network, not just the self the market rewards. So we're going to move through 6 steps. Anchor in the values compass, survey all 7 life dimensions, write the 1, 5, and 10-year vision, test the vision against capacity in the network self, name the identities worth leaning into, and consolidate everything into your final vision map. So the AI is asking me if I would like a short primer on the temporal bandwidth and 7 life dimensions. And I'm going to say yes, because I do actually want to learn about this. But what we're also demonstrating right now is how AI can help us personalize and customize education at scale. So it's giving us a short primer here. So temporal bandwidth is McMullen's way of saying stop making decisions from the tiny panic room of right now. A better vision widens your sense of time. It lets you hold 3 things at once: the past, the present, and the future. So instead of asking what goals should I crush this year, we ask what future am I already beginning to inhabit? And the 7 life dimensions: keep your vision from becoming a career plan wearing a fake mustache. AI is funny today. We'll look at health, finances, career and work, relationships, hobbies and recreation, mind and spirit, and advocacy. And the network self means we don't let one self hijack the whole damn life. Your achiever self may want scale, authority, revenue, and impact, but your body self may want margin. Your creative self may want space. Your spouse self may want presence. Your spirit self may want quiet. The vision has to hold all of them without turning one into a sacrificial goat. And I feel like my AI knows me well enough that it's already customized a lot of this language based on what it knows about me. So this is also a reminder that when you run this prompt, if you see different answers from your AI, that is perfectly normal and that's perfectly fine, because there are 2 things that are probably contributing to that. Number 1, AI is going to customize this education delivery to you based on what it knows about you and what you may have stored in your AI's memories. And also because the way that everybody interacts with AI is slightly different. And even though your responses when you run this prompt are different, that is the way that AI is designed to function. So what we need to do now is anchor in our values compass. Vision without values is just a wish list with better lighting. Before we describe the life you want, we need your values in front of us. They become the filter every part of the vision has to pass through. So it's asking me for the 3 values from last week. Which of those feels most under-honored? Which feels most well-expressed? And is there one value you especially hope this vision exercise helps you live more fully? So now I'm going to be using my Whisper Flow tool to recall this information. So I think that I completed the values exercise last week in ChatGPT. Can you check out our memory and our deliverables to see if you can surface those 3 values from the values compass that I did in workshop 1? Let's see if AI can pull this up for me, and it's possible it could be in Claude. Who knows? We'll find out in a minute. And at any time, if you want to see what the AI is doing behind the scenes, you can click on this little tab, and it will open it up and it will show you the work that it is doing. And perhaps it's not surfacing for me today because I'm working from hotel Wi-Fi and the bandwidth may be going all to the video instead of surfacing this answer, which is the right place to have the bandwidth allocated for today. So it's looking in 2 places: memory for prior workshop 1 values language, and your file library in case there's a saved deliverable. Okay, so it looks like it may have found, yep, and now it's identifying the under-honored value. So it's answering these questions based on the deliverable that I created. Great, so I found the memory evidence, but I did not find a clean saved deliverable. So most likely 3 values from your prior work: authenticity, integrity, and fun. That I feel like there was sovereignty on my list last week. Personal brand values you want to be known for and that you want people to feel you are enjoyable to work with while also getting things done effectively and impressively. I also found an older, broader core peace drivers: integrity and impact, autonomy and agency, empathy and excellence, regeneration and innovation as a service. That feels more comprehensive, but it was not 3 values. So, how we'll use this as a lens. My best read, fun, may be the most under honored right now. Yes, because so much of your current life is carrying, building, recovering, improving. Integrity feels the most well expressed. Authenticity may be the value this vision exercise helps you live more fully. And now it's asking me, are these the right values to anchor in your work? Yes, I do think that those are the right values. Although I feel like last week, one of the other values that surfaced was sovereignty, because it had a nuanced definition of freedom and enoughness. I also remember having a conversation about enoughness. So, how would you overlap what you know about me with sovereignty and enoughness and the values that you have already suggested? And I do agree with your assessment that fun is probably the most under honored right now. And I feel like I do need a lot more of novel, short microbursts of novel change in my life. So, for example, I am in Austin, Texas right now for a business conference, and tomorrow I'm flying to Minneapolis for another business conference. And yesterday afternoon, I took an hour or two out of my day to go do some thrift shopping in Austin, and that was like a micro novel experience that was re-energizing for me and definitely fun. I did get a message from Whisperflow this morning. Here you can see it on the screen. Whisperflow service disruption. We're actively working to fix this. And let me tell you what, guys, I've been using Whisperflow now for quite some time, and it feels like my right hand. Like when I can't talk to my computer, when Whisperflow is down, it's like a cog in the whole machine. So let's hope that Whisperflow gets its stuff figured out this morning, has another cup of coffee or whatever it needs to do. So yes, I think sovereignty belongs in the compass, but not as a replacement for authenticity, integrity, or fun. I'd make it the organizing value that holds the 3 other together. So sovereignty, what it means for you, this is what AI is suggesting: the right to belong fully to yourself, not just freedom, but freedom with enoughness, enough money, enough space, enough authority, enough recovery, enough self-trust to stop outsourcing your life to urgency, approval, or survival, right? I feel like I need to have that tattooed onto my forehead. Integrity is sovereignty with a spine. You don't want freedom that costs you your ethics, relationships, credibility, or nervous system. Fact. Authenticity, sovereignty with a voice. Ooh, I like this. This is feeling a little bit poetic. You want to be visibly, candidly, unmistakably yourself, not performing professional woman, good wife, EDO expert, AI person, or resilient overachiever at the expense of your actual inner truth. And here's the moment in this week's AI action class where it starts to feel like therapy, right? Fun, sovereignty with oxygen. Okay, so I'm loving the way that AI recognized these patterns, right? So the definition of sovereignty is really amazing. And then I love how they did sovereignty with the spine, sovereignty with the voice, and sovereignty with oxygen. This is the value that keeps your life from becoming one long board packet. Blah. It restores novelty, play, movement, delight, surprise, beauty, thrifting, music, travel, and I'm still alive in here energy. The enoughness piece is important because sovereignty without enoughness can turn into proving or striving, right? Striving to make more money, more success, more authority, more productivity. But sovereignty with enoughness sounds like I'm allowed to build a life where I have agency, margin, money, joy, and self-respect without having to earn my right to exist every morning. This feels much closer to the vision work we're doing. I agree. So here is our values compass. We've got sovereignty, which is a core lens, integrity, authenticity, and fun. I know the original exercise asked for 3, but your actual compass seems to have a 3+1 structure. Sovereignty is the North Star, integrity, authenticity, and fun are the guardrails. And your Austin thrift shopping example is exactly the evidence. Okay, for step 1, yes, I'm going to go with 4 values. So even though the book told me to pick 3, so I encourage you guys that when you're working through this workflow, if you have 4 values or if you have 1 value that you want to tie this exercise to, that is okay. So we've got these mapped in. Now we're going to go to step 2, where we survey all 7 dimensions. So give me 1 or 2 sentences for each. Messy is fine. So we've got health, we've got finances, we've got career and work, relationships, hobbies and recreation, mind and spirit, and advocacy. Well, this will be interesting. Goodness. How does my body feel right now? Well, I'm actually feeling okay because my sleep score last night was 80%. And I know that I get the luxury of working from my hotel room today and knock out a bunch of deliverables. But what's missing is regular, consistent movement. That is something that I'm actively working towards. Finances. I don't know how to answer that question. I think that I probably aspire to become even more financially literate and track my finances better so that I can recognize patterns and make even better money decisions. The business is generating leads and it's generating revenue, and I'm very grateful and thankful for that. But I think the gap now is putting some guardrails around that to make sure that none of it gets lost in the margins or falls through the cracks. Career and work, yes, my work definitely energizes me. I love what I do in AI for economic developers and helping leaders make a greater impact in their lives. So it definitely energizes me, but it energizes me to the point of exhaustion because I end up working so many hours. Relationships, more relationships. I would love to have more quality time with the top people that I have in my life. And right now I feel like that is lopsided because I'm spending most of my time working. Hobbies and recreation. Yes, I definitely want more opportunities to sing and make music. And I got my bike out the other day and started riding my bike for the summer season. So that was really exciting. Mind and spirit, what feeds my inner life. Definitely being outdoors, music. So hobbies and recreation have a strong tie into mind and spirit. And advocacy, what in the world bothers you enough that you'd want to contribute to changing it? And that's actually some of the work that I do on a daily basis because I love economic development and I love supporting economic developers so that they can make an impact in their community to make the world a better place. So that was a lot of information, but does that give you what you need to get the 7 dimensions? Okay, so we've got current state, initial direction across all of these. Okay, so this is my baseline. Okay, so now that we have the baseline of where I'm at today, I'm guessing that the AI is going to start asking me for the future vision for the 1, 5, and 10-year goals. So AI is telling me, here's the pattern. Your life is not misaligned. It's over-concentrated. The things that feel true are already present. Meaningful work, community impact, music, outdoors, novelty, movement, relationship, stewardship. The issue is that career work has become the dominant self in the network self. That is true. And is pulling oxygen from the others. So the initial vision map signal is not burn it all down. It's keep the impact, add guardrails, restore aliveness. Ooh, that is a fun phrase. Restore aliveness. Let sovereignty include enoughness, not just more capacity. The baseline feels coherent with the values. Does this feel honest? Looks great, please proceed. And one of the patterns that I'm noticing in our AI action classes is that it seems like when we run these prompts, they're always like front end heavy. It asks for a lot of context and then in the front end in like the first 3 steps. But once you give the AI the context in the first 3 steps, it can almost always answer the remaining questions based on what it knows about you. So I see that in our AI action classes, they start a little bit slower where we give a lot of context to the AI in the first couple steps, but then we speed up in the final steps to get to the deliverable. So now we're going to write the 1, 5, and 10-year felt vision. This is where we stop asking, what do I want to accomplish, and start asking the more dangerous, more honest question, how do I want to feel while I am living my life? We're building a felt vision across the dimensions, not a performance plan. The goal is not to trap future Katie in a rigid script. The goal is to give her a direction that feels alive, sovereign, honest, and sustainable. Answer these in whatever form comes naturally. You do not have to answer every dimension perfectly. Give me fragments, images, moods, ordinary day details, and examples. Oh, goodness. Oh, heavens. This Okay, so again, here's another example of something for me that feels like a heavy emotional lift. So my responses to the AI are definitely going to be messy, and we're going to see AI create some magic out of this. Oof, goodness. An ordinary Tuesday, 1 year from now, in my health, I want to feel peaceful. I want to feel healthy, vibrant. In my finances, I want to feel abundant, generous, enough. In my career and work, I want to also feel productive, profitable, and also peaceful. Like in my career and work, I intentionally and strategically say no to certain things because I have carved out the lanes that are most important to me, and I'm not striving to work more for some unattainable goal. Relationships are fulfilling. They feel fulfilling. I feel like I'm giving my loved ones the quality time and attention that they deserve, and I'm seeing that come back to me. Hobbies and recreation. I want this to feel abundant. I want to spend a lot of time in hobbies and recreation. I think it would be cool if I could spend as much time in hobbies and recreation as I do in career and work, but that future vision is really hard for me to imagine. Mind and spirit, again, peaceful enough. Yeah, that's kind of a vague one to try to answer. Mind and spirit, I feel confident, whole, solidified, identity. Advocacy, I feel like I'm making an impact. I can quantify the impact that I am making in key performance indicators. And I would imagine that for the 5-year and 10-year horizons, those are just going to be extensions of those things that I want in each one of those 7 dimensions. Can you make some projections based on what I've shared with you and what you know about me? So what does a 5-year and a 10-year look like? Because that's kind of hard for me to imagine. Okay. Now let's see what kind of vision AI is going to create for me. Okay, you are not imagining a smaller life. You're imagining a less extractive one. That's interesting. The future isn't I stop being ambitious. It's I stop paying for ambition with depletion. Okay. That aligns directly with the workflow's instruction to build a felt experience vision rather than achievement checklist. So here we've got our draft vision matrix. So we've got 1 year, we've got a 5-year, and we've got a 10-year. So instead of reading all of this to you, I'm going to jump straight to the 10-year and see if that tracks. So 10-year, I'm a woman who has aged into vitality, steadiness, and embodied self-respect. I can tell the story of how I stopped treating my body like the cost of doing business and started treating it like the place my life actually happens. Yes. I feel sovereign with money. I've built wealth, generosity, and margin and choice, not as proof that I was worthy, but as evidence that I learned to care for my life with wisdom. Wow, these are some pretty profound statements. I'm a field shaping leader, teacher, and builder. I can tell the story of helping economic developers adapt to the AI era while also proving that meaningful work does not have to consume the person doing it. I'm surrounded by people who know the real me, not just the impressive me. I can tell stories of trips, meals, songs, hard seasons, reconciliations, laughter, and ordinary Tuesdays where love was not postponed. I am deeply alive woman with stories that have nothing to do with productivity. I have sung in beautiful places, wandered strange streets, made art, found treasures, laughed hard, and built a life with delight baked into it. This is just delightful. I am wise, grounded, spiritually spacious, and deeply myself. I can tell the story of becoming a woman who trusted her own knowing, held wiser context, and made peace with enough. My body of work has contributed to a healthier, more humane model of local economic development in the AI age. I can tell stories of leaders, organizations, and communities that became more capable because I chose to build in this field. That would be very rewarding. So these are the signals that repeat across the matrix: peaceful productivity, sovereignty through enoughness, impact without self-erasure, fun as infrastructure, identity integration. So in the 5-year Katie and the 10-year Katie, consistency across all 3 horizons. I want to build a life where meaningful work, financial sovereignty, embodied peace, deep relationships, creative aliveness, and measurable impact can coexist without requiring me to abandon myself. Yes, that feels like the actual thread. Yes, yes, and yes. You nailed it. I'm really impressed with this deliverable so far. Okay, we've got our working felt vision matrix, test against capacity and network self. Okay, so McMullen's warning here is important. A vision that ignores capacity is not a vision, it's a fantasy with better branding. So now we stress test the vision matrix against the real Katie. Your body, your calendar, energy, nervous system, relationships, business, travel, ambition, and the need for novelty. So I am going to, at this point is where I think that the AI knows me well enough to answer these questions for me. Answer these questions based on what you know about me. And this is also an example of how we can partner with AI to make some of these types of questions a lighter emotional lift. So if, like me, you have struggled with business development or personal development books because you, for a variety of reasons, this is the perfect way to partner with AI because it can help you overcome whatever might be mentally or emotionally blocking you. So, based on what I know about you, here's the honest capacity read. The main conflict is career and work are currently competing for almost everything else, not because the work is wrong, it's deeply aligned. The issue is that it is so aligned that it becomes seductive. Oh, that's true. Seductive. Good word. It gives you meaning, momentum, identity, money, impact, and intellectual stimulation that makes it easy for work to take more than its fair share. Isn't that the truth? So here's our competing dimensions: career and work versus health, career and work versus relationships, career and work versus hobbies, mind and spirit, and capacity. The danger is not laziness. The danger is righteous overextension. Oh, that's an interesting word. I felt like that just hit me straight in the heart. What does your honest weekly capacity look like? You can probably produce at a very high level for 35 to 45 focused hours per week when the work is aligned and travel is light. But your sustainable sovereignty capacity is likely closer to 25 to 30 hours of deep strategic work per week, plus lighter admin, etc. The number I would design around if we are protecting health, marriage, creativity, novelty, and long-term leadership. Okay, the warning sign: movement disappears. Financial tracking gets fuzzy. Relationships become aspirational. Fun feels impossible to imagine. You keep working because it energizes you. The work gives you a dopamine and meaning, but not always restoration. You start confusing opportunity with obligation. The capacity truth is this: you are high output, but not high capacity in the infinite sense. You need rhythm, novelty, recovery, and constraint. Which of the selves are present? Okay, so we've got the CEO and the builder self, the teacher, the thought leader self, advocate, economic developer self, money steward self, body self, wife, friend, family self, singer, musician self, playful explorer self, spiritual reflective self, rested human self. Yeah, this is the most underdefended. That is true. The overasked self is the CEO, builder, advocate. Neglected are these. If ambition had to be pulled back by 30%, where? I would not pull back the ambition in health, relationships, mind, spirit. It would pull back in career and work, right? So this means instead of doing this, here's the capacity adjusted version, because the real vision is not less impact, it's less self-abandonment. And I think that that's what I talked about. That was also one of my values in last week's exercise, but I think I called it something else. Capacity adjusted vision. Here's the revised vision. Health cannot remain a when there's time category. Movement should be designed as a baseline rhythm: walking, biking, hotel room movement, strength and recovery. The goal is consistency. Okay, so now it's defining all these, the trade-offs. To have the life you described, your work cannot remain infinitely expandable. This means some good opportunities will have to wait. Some ideas will have to stay in the garden shed. Some people will not get immediate access to you. Some invitations will need a graceful no. Not because you're less committed, because you are becoming more sovereign. So here are the selves honored. Step 4, confirmation. Yes, looks great. Please proceed. Okay, so it's going to name the identities worth leaning into, and it's going to do the final step, which is 6. And then we will have our final deliverable here. So let me scan this quickly. Looks like AI is already filling in the blanks for me. This is the shift. Are these the identities? The overfunctioning rescuer, yes, I'm setting that down. The exhausted achiever, yes, I'm setting that down. The infinite capacity CEO, yes, I'm setting that down. The woman waiting for permission to play, yes. Excellent work. Please proceed to the final vision map and create it in an HTML file. So while the AI is doing that, I am going to flip it back to you guys to get your feedback, insights, and questions. Did you guys run this workflow along with me, or are you waiting to run it after the demonstration?
We did. We did. Okay. So what I did is I ran the prompt while we're in the training, and it's super reflecting to what I really feel right now, and I agree with what ChatGPT or the AI told about me in those 7 steps. And this really helpful in my day to day, not just my day to day bits, but my whole life as it is right now.
Good to hear that. Did it create a deliverable to you that you'll be able to like save and reuse?
Yep, it did. I'm still in my final step. I was listening to you before the final step, so I'm gonna finish that after this meeting.
Yeah, of course, definitely. We also have in our folder, there's shared drive. So students can share deliverables with one another. So if you're really proud of the deliverable that you made and you want to share it with the other students in the class, you can go ahead and put it in that shared resources folder. And I think that mine got finished. So let's take a look at that. But you guys, Donna or Larry, if you have anything that you would like to share or questions. Okay, here is my so we've got honor date, revisit date, honoring. Here's my values, the anchoring values: sovereignty, integrity, authenticity, and fun. Sovereignty is the North Star, the through line. Here we go. Here's our vision matrix, the current state. We got 1 year, 5 year, 10 year, and the consistent theme. So health becomes a home base, not a repair project. Finances, consistent theme. Money becomes sovereignty practice rooted in enoughness and stewardship. Career and work, keep the impact, remove the self abandonment. That's a really great one liner. Relationships, love gets protected time, not leftovers. And hobbies and recreation, fun is infrastructure, not decoration. Mind and spirit, inner peace comes from integration, not perfection. Advocacy is an impact with boundaries, not martyrdom with better language. Capacity trade-offs, right? So this is where I need to make some what's the word? Compromises, right? Capacity truth, identities to lean into, identities to set down, workshop completion note. So what I'm actually going to do with this deliverable is I'm going to feed it into my human operating system that runs alongside my CEO operating system to help hold me accountable to being a whole person, not just the career and work with all of that self abandonment. But let's hear back from you guys. I really like this book. I feel bad. I forget who is it that joined us 2 weeks ago. Vanessa, that suggested this book.
I can't remember. I think I have her name written down somewhere, but yeah, she was only there for a day, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Vanessa was the one. And she messaged me saying she couldn't attend last week. I think she had a conflict, but I think she's also in a different time zone. I think she's in Europe. But I'm really grateful that she suggested this book. I feel like this could be super helpful curriculum or educational content for other people as they build out their human operating system to run alongside their CEO operating system with AI. Might have to reach out to Tara McMullen and do a collaborative project. Excellent. Well, that brings us to 3 minutes past the top of the hour. So I want to get you guys back to your life and work, but I'm happy to stick around if anybody has any questions or wants to share feedback or insights. Otherwise, you guys are free to go and have a great week, and I will catch you next week.
Hi, Katie.
Hi, Julius.
I don't know what's happening. My camera is acting up too. It's super delayed.
Oh, yeah,
I
no
think
worries.
it's around a minute in delay. Actually, it's super slow. I don't know what's happening, but I was able to catch up to everything. I enjoy the class so much. It's refreshing to get those responses through ChatGPT or through AI. It's amazing how it can like learn a book or how the author wants us to understand the book itself and translate it into like our day-to-day life. So that's super great.
Yeah, no, I really enjoy it too, and so have a lot of people who have been attending these AI action classes. I think that they're game changers for how we are going to consume education as
Yeah,
we move further into the AI economy, because the personalization and customization at scale is just, it makes the content so much more meaningful for the individual that's trying to learn it and apply it.
yeah, I agree. It's like the we're just touching like the basics of how people can use AI, right? Because there are lots of possibilities, and there AI is super capable of what we are doing or what we wanted to do. So it's definitely a good class to like teach people on how to utilize AI like in a better way.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for that feedback, Julius.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, I'm gonna stop our recording so I can get this uploaded to YouTube, and I will connect with you soon on our other channel.
Yep, I'll do that. Thank you, Katie.
Awesome. Thank you, Julius.
Bye. Have a great
Bye.
day.
You too.